Oh, Pat, man.
He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. The best in Texas in every single way. Fire your guru, hire Roughneck to real estate. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. We are live on the Roughneck to Real Estate page, y'all. Woo!
Dude, what is up, Pat Hilton?
Nothing, man. We got it going from Texas to California to Texas to California. I thought I warned you. Woo!
Dude. So Pat has talked me into starting a podcast. And this is what I say it's episode 1, Pat, you say it's episode 0.
It's episode 0,
We don't really
y'all.
know where this thing's going to go. What are we going to talk about here today?
We're just talking about everything a little bit. We're sound checking as we go. We're streaming live over Skype. We're using a program called Ecamm Live. And as Corey is always open about educating people on stuff, we want to educate you too. We're not just going to use this and not tell you how we do it. We want everybody to be able to do this. If we both fall over dead tomorrow and we didn't tell people how to do this, then the whole thing is worthless. So we're learning as we go. This is a suggestion from the ClickFunnels video guy. His name is Kevin Anson, who uses this Ecamm Live in his private group in his master class that I'm a part of. And we're giving it a shot now with the Roughneck to Real Estate podcast. So it records, it streams into your group, and you can do it all over Skype. You can take up to 5 calls. So here we are.
Dude, we should get Jawad on here for episode 0 since we can have a 5-way. I think Jawad's middle name is 5-way.
Jawad loves 5 ways. No doubt. No doubt.
So one of the things, everybody wants to start a podcast. I've been wanting to start one for a while. I don't really know where to begin. Pat Hilton, we're out at the Meltdown. We bunk together.
We do bunk together sometimes.
Yeah, not in the same bed, but same room. And so there we are. We're there together, and we're talking about it. And I'm like, dude, I can't figure any of this shit out.
Right.
I don't even know where to start. And you're like, you got to, all that shit you just spit right there. You're like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And then you can jump on this, then you can do this. Do you know so-and-so? Have you talked to this? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Finally, I just reached out. I was like, hey, Pat, I want you to come out to Texas. I want you to set me up a recording booth and this and that. We talked about some of that when you came out to Propelio's event. And then we kind of landed on doing this remotely with the equipment I already have set up and using Skype. And you've put a lot of time, energy, and effort and research into getting this set up. And I just want to thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
First off,
I'm responding right now live to our friends on the page. If you guys are on here, thank you for being on here. Andrew, we got Chris online. We got people logging on. So thank you guys for being a part of this premiere episode.
It's 7 o'clock at night. This is the test run. Do you want to do this for other people, Pat? You going to hook some other people up, or
yeah? I mean, if you guys are interested in running something like this on your page, it's really, really easy for us to do. I'm sure that I'll have the logistics down. Like I said, this is literally the first time I've even tested the software. We're already broadcasting live on your page. We got 8 viewers. We got commenters. Your logo is on the screen right under your beautiful face.
Awesome.
And again, we want this to be something that people can learn from too. We want to give people the tools that they need to go out and do broadcasts, to go out and make money in real estate, in digital marketing, in video and audio, in whatever they need to do. So that's part.
I'm stoked about this. I haven't been more excited about something else. Also, if y'all want to be on the podcast, Corey, Corey at Roughneck Real Estate. That's the email you need to send it to. Pat's going to be in charge of that. If you want to jump on the podcast, if you want to spit, I want to get y'all on here. I want to get some fucking gurus on here. I want these guys, these no HUD gurus. I want to get them on here. So if anybody has a plug, if you know where I can get in touch with these guys, if they want to jump on here, I got some questions for them. I really, really want to know some stuff. And I want to do it a little bit different. I want to do some live marketing. I want to do some live call taking. I want to do. You said we're going to have a way for people to call in. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. With Skype, what we can do is we can set up our own phone number so that people can call into the show, just like Grant Cardone does on the Cardone Zone podcast. So people we'll have a little number where people can call in. I'm sure we'll get some pranksters too, which will make it more fun as well.
Dude, I love it. And we're gonna do it live on the page. We're gonna do it live into the groups. And then you'll take that and you'll cut it, edit it, put an intro on it, put it out to the world on the websites. But I want to jump into it. I don't think you've been telling me most people don't know my story. They don't know it. They're jumping. This is something that Pat brought up that I never would have thought of, that people start following you at different times in their life. So a lot of people
Right.
weren't there at the beginning of my journey. They don't know that I lived in an RV for 2 years. They don't know that I just moved into a house. They don't know that I had to sell my guns to eat. They don't know any of that. They just showed up, on some guru roast or something. I was like, damn, this dude's, a savage. Um, I'm going to start following. They don't know about the struggle. And that's really what I want to accomplish today on this podcast. I want to talk a little bit about your story, about you moving out to San Diego. I want to talk a little bit about my story, of working in the oil field for 13 years, getting laid off, being a single dad, having to try to feed a daughter. I think I think people are missing that. So we'll just make episode 0 the launch pad for the
Yeah,
rest
it's
of
like
this,
the
and then we'll
intro. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, if you, for those of y'all that don't know, for those of y'all who are just getting in at the end, about 3.5 years ago, I was laid off from the oil field. I had a job where I was making $30,000 a month. That was gone. My best friend Jacob Garrell had been researching how to buy rental properties. He wanted to rent some houses and wanted to put some passive income so his mom wouldn't have to work. He had done all the research, and then it came time to do the work, and he invited me down to a networking event, and the next week we contracted 3 houses. Some people have seen a video of me burning down a house. That's actually my personal residence. It was still under contract, and that was in 2012. That was the first house I ever bought. And we kind of I subdivided that land, sold some of it off. I was a real estate investor at that point in time, but I didn't think of it like that. It was just kind of a hobby. It was just something I was fucking around with, not anything I was taking real serious. Jacob was house hacking his personal house, which also makes him a real estate investor. But again, he just thought of it as friends paying his mortgage. When we got into this thing head over heels, though, we bought 3 houses the first week. Ended up owner financing one. Didn't know what that was. It's now the backstop of our business. Made money. Was able to feed the family. But man, it's been an up and down model. Up and down roller coaster of entrepreneurship, which you've experienced firsthand. And I think a lot of people, they get attracted to a meme or a Lambo or something and think they're going to come in here and it's just going to be easy. And then the work hits them in the mouth and they're like,
Well,
damn.
right,
And
and
the
I
first thing
mean,
they think of is to quit.
even these guys that do drive Lambos, I mean, your Andy Frisellas and stuff will tell you that he slept on a couch in the back of his first retail store that they got from the Salvation Army next door. Like, it wasn't pretty. You just see his Lamborghini on Instagram now, and you think to yourself, oh, well, Andy made it, Like, I was
Oh
able to
yeah.
play, I played the 10X Growth Con that he spoke at, and, like, that was the biggest event I ever played. I was telling him on messaging years ago, I'll be playing events with you one day. And, he's like, you just got to stick with it and take your punches because it's not going to be easy, man. And it's like that for everybody. So,
Dude, it's one of the it's one of the most humbling experience ever. I was out to eat with somebody the other day, a Bushy Dallas girl, and anyway, she's like ordering, and real pretentious, like, oh bro, I need, what color's the broccoli? And they're like, what color's the broccoli? It's fucking green. And she's like, is it teal? Is it more blue? Like, I really need to know. And I'm sitting here thinking, we're eating at a restaurant that's so nice. You know what I mean? It's like this, like, they could fuck my entire meal up, and I'm still gonna feel blessed, even to be in this room. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, and I'm sitting here with her, and me and her are really good friends. But I'm like, girl, like sometimes whenever you send something back because they put 7 cubes of ice in there instead of 9, like you just got to count your fucking blessings. Like, why are you even being like this right now? So that's what entrepreneurship is. My biggest deal is too many people want to sit around and pump up their victories, but they leave the failure, they leave the defeat, they leave the day that they're laying in their RV. This is my personal shit. And they're just thinking like, man, why am I even here? You know what I mean? What
Right.
would life be like without me? And then, what gets you through that moment is your why. Like what gets you through that moment is at least for me at that moment in time when I was thinking about that, I was sick. I had my daughter. I couldn't even really take care of her because I was so sick. I was by myself. I was like, when am I going to be out of this situation? What did I do to get here? Why am I in this situation? And if I was going to end it all now, how many people would I leave in a bind? You know what I mean? So it was like, dude, you got a lot of work to finish. Otherwise, if you check out now, if you quit now, like you're going to leave all of your best friends in a bond. You're going to leave all of your lenders who believe in you in a bonding. These are all your
Right.
friends. Like if you quit today, you lose everything, not just money, not just whatever. If you quit right now, this is it. Like you won't have a friend left, you won't have a dollar left, you won't have anything left. So as you're laying there thinking that, I'm like, well, shit, there ain't nothing to do. Like laying here sick in bed isn't going to make me feel any better. So
Right.
what can I do from this moment moving forward to make a dollar? What is my number one pain? What is the number one objection that I can take out? And if I take that thing out, what's the next step? You know what I mean? So for me, I sat down that day and I broke it down. And I'm like, what do I have that I can sell, that I can make some money? And it's like, you've got this property, you could probably own or finance it. You pick up that money down, and boom, your whole situation's changed. Focus on that. So I got that done, and then it's like, what next? Get that flip sold, get that flip finished, call that
Right.
plumber, and I just started making my list like that. Uncle G talks about it all the time, writing down your goals. For me, I always have my goals at the top of my brain, but a big ass goal on the top of the board doesn't tell you what you got to do today to make it to that next step. So that's something I did that day. Being over leveraged in every part of life has really, really, really been what kept me going, because you cannot, like, you might quit on a stranger, but you can't quit on your family. You can't quit on your best friend. You can't leave everybody in a bond. I could have went back to work on a drilling rig 2 years ago, made $100,000 a year, worked half the year. I could have got back into that several times over. The only
Right.
reason I stayed in real estate was because it was bigger than me. It was about the people around me. It was about my friend's mom that was loaning me money to buy real estate. You know what I mean? Now she's getting passive income for her whole life's work. It's about my other friend's mom that's now able to quit her job and enjoy retirement because she loaned us some money. It's about my best friend and partner being able to buy a house and move out of Houston and get back up to the country so he can get him some cattle. And we've built this thing out. And to be honest, it's something that when we started, we didn't know we were going here. You've been at this business, you've been in the entrepreneurial world for a long time, it seems, Pat. Like I'm a newcomer when it comes to this. Like I'm not as good at social media. You were on my ass all the time. You're like, dude,
Dude,
send me
you're hard to
something.
get a hold of.
You're like, send me something. Like I
You
want to
guys,
put
I
out some
can barely
content.
get this guy on the phone, much less get him on a fucking Skype call like this. That's why I set it up on Skype. Because if we try to be too fancy at first and use a bunch of fancy gear, it's not going to work because you're too hard to get a hold of as it is.
Well, we're running pretty hard. We're gonna close on
Right.
100 more doors this week. This is something that for me, um, just the fact that people want to watch, I'm still blown away by that. I'm like, why?
We
You
got
know what I mean? Like,
25 likes, baby. 25 likes. If you guys are digging it, like and share. This is episode 0. This is the test run. The test run. We're getting it going. So show us some love. You keep talking about real estate. I'm going to plug a couple more things in. You keep on rolling.
what are you plugging in? You got a double headed. Pat can't hear me right now. I think he's about to pull out a big old dildo. What are y'all's bets? But this for real. Like my story, we'll pick up on my story. I got laid off. We bought 3 houses. From there, we tried flipping. We couldn't really make consistent money at flipping. We figured out what wholesaling is. We're kind of ass backwards. We figured out what wholesaling was after we'd already bought 3 houses. We did our fourth house was a wholesale deal. We made $27,000. Didn't return to that strategy till 3 years later. Why? I can't tell you. Like we didn't have it figured out. We didn't trust ourselves enough to borrow hard money and service that debt. We needed money now. That was kind of our situation. It was a never ending treadmill of making money just to pay bills, making money just to pay bills. We'd pick up $80,000, $90,000, but we'd have to pay all of that back to credit card debt. And it was always that revolving cycle. We ended up with a rental portfolio by accident. We had bought a bunch of $10,000 houses in small towns, and we were broke. So we went to the bank and we're like, "Hey, will you give us a loan?" And they loaned us $100,000 more than we had in the entire portfolio. And we're like, "Damn, that was easy money. Why don't we do that again?" So we started trying to replicate the Burr model, move forward with that. But what you don't realize at that point in time is you pull equity, but you might pull $10,000 in equity out from this bank, but then you're paying off a credit line or you're paying off a credit card. It's just a debt exchange. Like now you've got a tenant paying your credit card bill for you inadvertently at a cheaper rate than what the credit card would cost you, but you're still just building debt. So while we didn't wholesale enough, we didn't flip enough, and we didn't wholesale enough to pay our reoccurring marketing bills, to pay for gas, to pay for meals, to pay for living expenses. So we were trying to scale and get enough cash flow on rentals. But last year, whenever we sat down and broke down our rentals, we lost $6,000 on them. So we collected $106,000 worth of rent, or $100,000 worth of rent, but we spent $106,000 on our rentals. And it was like, well, rentals are truly your path to financial freedom, but it's a 20-year plan. Eddie Gant told me early on that it's somebody else buying you an asset. So the biggest thing that ate us up on our rental portfolios were vacancies. We didn't pay attention to them enough. We took all of those lessons and we're like, look, we've got to mix it up. We've got to be wholesaling. We've got to be doing flips. We don't really flip. We'll do moderate rehabs. We don't do big rehabs. But wholesaling is by far right now our best strategy. Pat, wholesaling, I'm saying a bunch of jargon. I want you to pick up on this. Wholesaling is where I buy a property off market. I'll use somebody like Pat Hilton, a rich millionaire musician's money. Not yet, but whenever you make it, you're going to be my guy. But anyways, I use somebody else's money, and then I list it on MLS and sell it. My lender makes money. We make money. I don't have to worry about people trying to skate me or go around me on that deal. And to be honest, I can scale that a lot more because now I have my time back. If I'm not out messing with buyers, doing showings, doing stuff like that, now I've got all my time back. If I got my time back, I'm leveraging a realtor's time to show that house. I'm leveraging a realtor's time to talk with that contractor, to talk with that inspector, to go through all that process to make sure they got the earnest money at title. I'm not having to do all that. And so you've been around the best of the best, Pat. What do they say about scaling your business? What's the number one rule of scaling your business?
Well, I mean, leveraging other people's talents and outsourcing, which, I mean, yeah, all those guys say that. I mean, from Cardone to Brad Lee to Andy Frisella to all the big wigs, I mean, they have to outsource, but I mean, at some point, you still got to be in charge. Being in charge isn't easy because you still need to delegate those tasks. You still need to have a team of people that you trust. You don't want to be bringing Crystal Shorter on the team or anything. You know what I mean?
Oh man, dude, that part two today. I was like,
I know Jeremy Miller just commented something. Jeremy Miller, baby, we love you, baby.
we're appending your list right now, dude. I'm taking up some bandwidth getting that list appended. Where I'm about to fire those voicemails off for you as soon as we get done.
Right.
But what you're saying is true. Like that's why I hired you to do the podcast. Like
everybody does it, from the biggest guys to the guys trying to build it from the ground up. I mean, you can only do so much with your time, so you need to focus on your strengths. You trying to become a video producer overnight is a waste of your time.
It's a waste of my time, and it makes everybody else on my team suffer.
It drags the whole thing down.
Well, they need me doing what I do best. You know what I mean? Right. They need me out looking at properties. They need me calling contractors. They need me, busting on people's head on the internet so more people will go, damn, you know what I mean? Like, let's see what this guy's about. Let's go do a deal with him. You know what I mean? Let's talk to him. Let's reach out. They don't need me sitting here in front of a computer, which I can barely turn on, honestly, trying to figure out how to run. What's that program we're using right now?
I know Ecamm Live, baby. Ecamm Live.
I've seen
Yeah.
the credit card receipts. Like we've bought some shit here recently. It ain't much, but I want to buy some
No.
more. Like, let's run up a tab.
I
Let's
mean, yeah,
we're
like I
balling now,
said,
baby.
that's what I said. Eventually, we'll have some interfaces, we'll have microphones, we'll have all that stuff. But like at first, we need it to work. We need to be able to test it. And sitting around trying to make it perfect isn't going to make it awesome. It might make
No,
it perfect 3 months from now, but it needs to be out now. We've got 50 likes. We've got 35 people that gave us hearts. If you guys can share and like on this and pump it out, that really helps us get the word out about what we're doing. And then when we bring you onto the show, then more people will be viewing you. More people will be viewing your brand. More people will be liking your pages and stuff like that. We're trying to help everybody. I think
I want
Propelio is a great example of people who are strong at this. They bring everybody in and help everybody instead of just trying to be the big bad guy. It doesn't work anymore in this modern digital age. Everybody has different strengths, and leveraging those strengths makes everybody win more. And the more everyone else is winning, the more there is to go around. And trust me, there's plenty to go around on the internet.
dude, I'm I'm so pumped about this right now. I want ideas. I want people in the comment section like, hey, what the
Yeah, I
fuck
mean,
do
I
you
got
want to
my
see us
phone.
do?
I'm responding to you guys right now live. So
Do you want to see us? Do you want to see us do live marketing calls on here? Do you want to see us make a guest do live marketing calls?
right.
What do you want to
Or do
see
you
from the
guys want to just
podcast?
watch Jawad eat pizza burritos? I mean, we can arrange that too.
Oh, dude, yeah, we can. Jawad can will come in for a 5-way in a heartbeat. Like we can, or we can. You know what we can do? We can bait him to talk shit about Jawad, then bring Jawad in. Like he's been listening the whole time. Say it to his
Jawad
face.
is a savage. He's a savage animal. You guys don't want to mess with that dude. Two dash, two dash.
Two
But
days. Two
yeah, I mean,
days.
I definitely think it is a roughneck to real estate show. So we do want to focus on you educating people in the real estate, but we also want to keep it entertaining enough to where it's like edutainment. We want it to be entertaining too. We don't want this to be another boring podcast because there's a lot of them out there.
Dude, I'm like today. I figured this out. Gary Vee did this on what you call it, Snapchat. He sent out his fucking playlist. Right. I figured
Right.
out how to make playlists on Apple, and I made two so far. Right. So I made these two fucking playlists where I got my little jams on there. And today I was listening to songs and I was like, holy shit, I'm about to make a Crystal Metheny playlist. Like all of these songs are gonna be about drugs, about recovering, about being high and fucking shit
Right.
up. Like I want a Crystal Metheny
So we
playlist.
got a question from Jeremiah McMahon. He wants you to break down owner finance sub two. Um, just says in RE to make it work when wholesaling won't. Do you know what that means?
Okay, well, I can break down sub two. I didn't understand the second half of the question, but I'll break down sub two. Sub two is just basically you taking over somebody else's payment. Okay, in Texas it's legal. I don't know about the other states. I mean, I know that it's legal in some form, but in Texas, the big thing is the due on sale clause. Every bank has a due on sale clause. So once it changes hands, the county doesn't send the bank a notification. The banks typically aren't checking for that sort of thing. So the due on sale becomes at risk if you can't insure it properly, if you don't have it insured properly, or if you don't make your payments, if you're not paying that underlying mortgage. Texas tried to outlaw it in the last, or one of the legislative section, the 2017 legislative. I can't even say. Anyways, they tried to outlaw it. Um, it it's a real risk for the end buyer if you own or finance it out, because if the due on sale clause is called, then if you've sold it owner finance on a wrap mortgage. So in other words, if you sold it to an end buyer, wrapped the original seller's mortgage, and then the bank calls the loan due. Now you have to try to back it into a trust. You have to do some really technical things. And the attorney that I work with says he's never had one go sour, but that doesn't mean that the next one can't be the one that happens. Your end buyer's at risk. They put down 10, 20, $30,000. Now they're about to lose that because they're going to get foreclosed on. So from a sub two strategy, we have about 20 sub twos in our portfolio. We owner financed several of them out. It's pretty um, labor intensive to reconcile those books. We've hired a bookkeeper, so we don't have that. we're not losing that time. But you know, they work really well, but you can't make it on 10 of them. If you're going to get into sub 2 and you're going to do it heavily, you either need to one, keep them as rentals because, you know, it's a great strategy to buy a rental property, or two, you need like 30 or 40 of them. And don't like, you're really tempted to do low equity ones. I would recommend not doing the low equity ones. The simple reason why is when you have low equity, it reports bad on your books. Um, they typically don't cash flow as well, which means if that end buyer quits paying their payment, then you've got to service that debt to keep the original seller from getting foreclosed on or dinging their credit again. So you end up having to service that debt. We've got one in Killeen right now that we've been paying that payment for a year now, and we cannot get foreclosed on this guy. And it's a low equity deal. Like it's, whenever we get it back, we'll be able to owner finance it, wrap it. We'll have $3,000 in equity. In other words, the underlying mortgage will be 86,000. Our buyer will owe 89,000, and the cash flow is not worth it on that one for the amount of time. I think we've got something like $17,000 parked in that deal. It'll be cash flowing like $200-300 a month, so it's not worth it in the end. But at the time, I wanted to do that one, and I needed to do it. That's how I learned.
All right,
Grant Kemp is the
here's a
guy.
question. I'm breaking you up a little bit. So
I do all day.
what other options would work when wholesaling won't?
When what other options would
What
work
other options would work when wholesaling won't?
when wholesaling alone?
When
Fuck, I don't know.
wholesaling won't work. If wholesaling won't work, what other options will?
Oh well, look, wholesaling is the low bar to get in. Okay, it doesn't take money, it doesn't take credit, it doesn't take any of these things. It doesn't take knowing somebody with money. All you got to do is get really active on Facebook, start talking, and then you need to go drive for dollars and find that deal. When you find that deal, you reach out to somebody like Jawad, you reach out to somebody like me, you reach out to somebody you found on the internet that you think you can
Daniel
trust.
Chad Moore, right?
Daniel Chad Moore. You might reach out to Ryan Harper, and you go look at and evaluate that deal with them and try to contract it and see what you can learn in JV. You can wholesale it to them and take your money up front. You can, wholesale it with them and take your money 30 days from now. You can do a split of either. But it, I always, when I'm looking at a property and I'm underwriting it, as a wholesale deal, okay, your number one buyer on a wholesale deal is going to be a landlord. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Don't get on blinders and evaluate everything as a fucking flip. There's so many house flippers out there, but the house flippers aren't making money. The best house flipper I know loses money on, he's lost money a few times this year. Let's just put it that way. It happens to everybody. So your most consistent buyers are always going to be buy and hold investors because they're using the bank's money, and the banks have a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? A house flipper can't scale. A house flipper gets hung up on days on market where they end up buying a flip and now it sits on the market for 100 days and they're stalled out until that money turns over. They can't buy another one. Where a buy and hold investor puts a fucking tenant in it day one, seasons it, borrows money back out. He's rolling that money over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a year, and he's building passive income. So you need to learn how to evaluate your wholesales as owner finance, as rentals, and don't just put your fucking flip goggles on. Jay Coleman buys this deal. All right, I don't even know if I'm supposed to know the numbers, but I know the numbers. So he buys it.
I think our stream stopped and restarted.
Did it?
We're still going. Yeah.
Ooh, we had a little brief pause. It's okay. We're back. We're back. Are we still recording though? Do we got a never-ending recording?
Yeah.
Or are we just gonna have a commercial break?
Well, it'll save it. It'll save it on the page.
Cool. So are we started back again?
Yeah, we're going again.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, I got a seller calling me right now. But anyways, what happened on Jay Coleman's deal was he bought it for 45,000. All right, he lists it for 60,000, gets 15 offers on this house or in this condo. Okay, buys it for 45, borrows money against it. 2 weeks later, he picks up a check from the title company. They close on it $90,000. Probably made over $40,000 on that deal. Okay, just by buying it and putting it on MLS. The funny thing about that is they listed it for 60. It got into a bidding war. So they had offers of like 80,000, like 70,000. Like it was just fucking nuts. Like it was such a hot deal. And honestly, that's the people only think they know everybody in real estate, right? They think they know Jawad, they think they know Daniel, they think they know everybody that's buying anything in there. That's not the truth. You've got people that sit at home that make three, 400, $500,000 a year that instead of putting their money in a 401k want to park it in real estate, and they're looking for a 5, 10, 15% discount. They don't need that tenant, they don't need that cash flow from that tenant. If they're cash flow negative every year, it doesn't matter to them. They've got another human being buying them an asset that's going to pay them during retirement instead of a 401k. There are more people like that in these big markets, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. I'm sure in other states. I'm sure, Chicago, Arizona. Like, I mean, I'm sure all of these places have those guys, those corporate American guys that put on a suit and tie every day that go to work, that have nothing but a real estate agent just watching for a little bit of equity. They're watching that neighborhood. They're only going to buy in that one zip code. And whenever something gets listed in there and it's got a little bit of equity, it's listed a little bit low, boom, they fire off their offer. And you pick that up for 50 cents on the dollar, you list it for 90 cents on the dollar, and somebody comes in and offers you, 80 cents on the dollar and think they're stealing it from you, when in reality you just hit a big ass lick and you have almost 0 hours of time in that. That's something that you talk about. How many hours do I have in this deal? How many hours do I have, playing this bar or doing that? What did I get
Right.
paid
It's
over that
like,
time?
right.
I'm not that sophisticated. Like, I just think of it this way. Whenever I make $20,000, whether I had 20 hours in it, an hour in it, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like 20 grand is 20 grand. I'm about to buy me a jet ski. You know what I mean? I'm a big
Right.
jet ski guy. Like, I like fucking jet skis. Like, it's just my thing. Uh, you
That's
know,
awesome.
I've
I
not,
love it.
that was me in 2003. I owned a jet ski. That's
I,
what you got,
I
Pat?
can't even imagine you riding on a jet ski. Jeremy Miller's showing mad love, so maybe you can show him a little shout out,
Dude,
Corey.
Jeremy Miller, thanks for coming on Propelio last night, dude. I think your story is one that you need to get needs that you need to get out there. You need to jump on the podcast. You need to jump on a few podcasts. You need to get your story out there, guys. If you're in the Fort Worth market and you need somebody that you can trust to evaluate a deal, reach out to Jeremy Miller. Find him on Facebook.
If you guys need a jet ski, by the way, our friend Susan Lee has a jet ski on sale for $7,000.
I know Susan Lee. She I bet it's an 84 model. It's a fucking two stroke. It probably got to kickstart that motherfucker. Like, it's probably the most jankety piece of shit ever. And that ain't me hating, Susan. You just ain't got a badass jet ski.
This guy, I'm sure she really appreciates that, Corey.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I love you, Susan. If it makes you feel any better.
She's putting out flyers right now, guys. She's putting out flyers that say I buy houses in the porta shitters at the state fair. Like, you're getting out hustled by a girl. She lives in Houston, drove to Dallas, and is putting fucking flyers in the porta shitter the last weekend of the state fair because she got on some website and they told her 114,000 people were going to be there. And you can't go to the state fair and eat fucking fried butter and not get the shits. You're shitting yourself at the state fair. You're eating a footlong corn dog and you're hitting the fucking
Oh
porta
my
shitter.
god.
That's just what happens. Those are just the facts of life.
Jeremy said, great tips. When he first started wholesaling, the first thing was to look at it as a flip deal. Not many people out there showing how to analyze it from a landlord's perspective. So you're already giving out good information, which is exactly what our goal is here.
Let me tell you about a landlord's perspective. It's called the 2% rule. Most of y'all know this, some of you don't. 2% rule. Okay? So from 1 to 2%, anything above 1% really. So if I buy a house for $100,000 and it rents for $1,000, that's a 1% deal. If it rents for $2,000, that's a 2% deal. Okay. So when you go into the hood, you might be looking at a house that you're like, damn, this thing's bombed out. Like, it's not worth a fuck. All right. And they want to sell it for $30,000, $40,000, but that house will rent for $1,000 a month. Okay. So if they want to sell it for 30 and it'll rent for $1,000 a month, you can wholesale it. You can assign it to somebody for 20,000, which means the end buyer's price will be 50,000. You just made 20,000. The house mine only appraised for 30,000, but somebody will pay 50 for it because it's going to rent for 1,000 and they got them a 2% deal. So don't when you put your flipping goggles on, you're really limiting your scope because you don't go into the hood and flip houses too often. You know what I mean? Jeremy does stop six stuff in Fort Worth, and they've made some money flipping there now, but that neighborhood's starting to turn over. Before, I mean, Steve Glasgow's a dude in the Dallas Fort Worth area that absolutely kills it buying those $30,000-$40,000 houses and then renting them out for 1,000 a month. So if you find those deals, don't have your flip goggles on. Put your rent goggles on and blast it out to the internet and see what the fuck comes back to you. I guarantee
Jawad has one on sale right now for $45K in the hood, 2% deal. He said.
Really?
That's
so $900 a month. I think I know what deal he's talking about. I think it's a little yellow house, dude. Post it up. Like put it in the comments section.
Yeah, share the links or whatever.
Share the shit out of it, guys. That's what maybe we'll move deals on here. We'll be like deal of the week. Fuck it.
Let's get Jawad to come on here. We can do these as many times as you want. I mean, this thing's working pretty solid. We had one little dropout, but it didn't stop our stream. It only stopped in the software. So
cool. That's cool.
Let's get some deals going, Jawad. Let's get that 2-dash. Let me put some shoes on. Put some of them 2-dash shoes on, dog.
Hey, look at those hooves.
Look at them hooves.
That just kicked his foot up into the screen. I need those glasses, Pat. Where do I get those glasses? You got an affiliate link
these are some
for the
Snapchat glasses. Come on, Snapchat. Why haven't you guys sponsored me yet? What the hell's wrong with y'all? Woo!
I mean, dude.
Jeremiah said we need to get the wheels of deals going. The wheel of deals.
No,
spin the wheel of deals.
Let's do it. What are other good ideas? Anybody else got any questions? How many people we got watching? 11, 12?
We've got about 150 likes. We've got about 17 people on right now.
Dude, that's amazing. That's the best my page has ever done. Pat, you're a fucking beast. You just bring in all the ladies.
There was for a sec. There was an interruption for a second, but we got through it.
Good. Good.
It didn't end the stream though.
That's cool. So we're gonna wrap it up, Pat. I don't know what to expect from the next episode. I want to get a guest on, somebody like Brandon Richards, somebody like Donnie Ruffin, somebody that wants to jump on. Producer Pat's gonna be on with us because we got a 5-way. We're gonna have him in the background, just spitting jingles, man. Just throwing it out there, throwing the questions in, making us answer them, making it uncomfortable. See what we can do.
For sure, man. Yeah, we're getting it moving. We did have one little dropout, but it didn't kill our stream, so that's good. This is the first time we've ever used this software live. It's called eCam Live, if anybody's wondering what we're using. It was suggested to me by Kevin Anson, the video boss, who is Russell Brunson's video editor. He's literally like a friggin' genius.
He accepted my friend request.
He's great. He's a great guy. I'll talk to him about the dropouts. I probably have some video setting too high because I want us to look sexy, baby.
Dude, I feel like I look good.
Sexy.
Look, I got my fucking makeup mirror in here.
Colby K's in the house. Colby K's in the house.
Dude, what's up, Colby? Shout out.
K, speaking of telling our stories, just a real quick story. It's Colby was the first dude to ever put me on an entrepreneur conference. He's the host of the Meltdown in the Desert.
Yep.
And I mean, a lot of things started happening after I did that.
You happened after that.
Yeah.
You happened after that.
And it's just it's completely changed my life. So if you guys don't follow Colby K, please do.
Follow Colby K. Colby was the first conference I went to, first conference I ever went to, and the second conference I ever went to. I've never been to another conference. I go to Colby's conference, dude. I love it.
Very
I love the
real.
It's
very real.
Everybody's approachable. We all just kind of hang out. Dude, it's a blast. I treat it as my vacation. I love going out to Arizona. Colby's jumped into the real estate space.
Either. It's not heavily priced.
No, not at all. Very affordable. Colby's jumped into the real estate space now. He's out hustling. He's got a badass bandit sign hookup out in Arizona. So if you're out there, we use Katie Parker here in Texas. She's our plug. Colby's got one out in Arizona. So if y'all are from Arizona and watching, reach out to Colby. He's got one. He's working with some pretty heavy hitters out there. Torsten Colston. Anyways, I mean, Colby,
cool.
Colby, he was in Southern Utah the other day. I want to make it out there. I want to buy a side by side and go out there and do some rides and stuff. Put together a little mastermind around it.
Our boy Sean's a meltdown veteran.
Sean's a meltdown. Lion's not sheep. Sean had a pretty interesting business with tax sale properties. I think he's getting back into real estate a little bit, so maybe we can get him on the show. Let him talk about it. Like
Colby
Sean
said, he got 15 deals in 2 months.
Dude, Colby's fucking beast mode. He's fucking beast mode. Like the thing about guys that come from a marketing background like Colby that are good at this stuff, like you are, Pat.
Well, he's just an honest closer. Like, he is a closer, but he's not a shithead, so people are gonna do business with him.
But dude, his fucking content's so good. Like the stuff he can do on the back end of Facebook ads and stuff like that fits so well into the real estate space. Just the margins are so much better than selling supplements or selling cars or selling anything. You know what I mean? Like, you can make huge margins. Colby's gonna kill it in this game. He's working with a great set of mentors, working with a great set of people. He's being kind of a little bit quiet right now on social media, which
that's when you know he's dangerous, is when he's
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, he's getting a little bit quiet.
We see you.
It's like the he's out over the Gulf of Mexico. He's a hurricane out over the Gulf of Mexico, just intensifying. And as soon as he gets his feet under him, it's on.
Yeah,
so, dude, that's badass. So
he said he says he's doing about 3 hours a day of calls, driving areas, about 2 hours a day reading, and watching and learning from all of you real estate guys. I'm sure he watches Propelio. I've seen him on the stream. So
we're gonna get him out there. We're gonna get him out on the show because we're gonna figure out how to split him in like this from the Propelio studio.
We'll definitely get you in for sure. We can do 5 ways, which is right up Colby's alley. Colby loves 5 ways.
Yeah, even if it's all dudes not playing.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, yeah, man, I think this was a successful test. Like Jeremy said, we did have one little dropout, but we didn't lose the feed on Facebook. It kept going.
Dude, I'm so
that's
happy
awesome.
About that. I'm so happy about it. I love all y'all's support. Love you for being here. We're gonna spit this thing out. It's gonna be on iTunes, correct? You're gonna put it on what's the site called?
Yeah, there's a site called Libsyn that puts your podcast on all the different sites. So we will be downloading the audio and uploading it all on that as well. So.
Dude, that's going to be great. We're going to be out there. We're going to try to do this weekly. It's going to be a slow start probably because I have to literally make time for this. But if you want to be a guest, Corey,
tell him to make time.
Tell him to
make time. This literally took months to get this guy on this fucking thing.
So we're Corey at Roughneck Real Estate. If you want to be on the show, reach out. Pat's going to have that email as soon as I figure out what the fucking password is. I don't know where it's at.
This guy doesn't even know his fucking passwords. God.
Sorry. I'm going to get better. It's going to get better.
It's your business. I'm just the video producer guy.
Dude, I love it. But jump on, like this, share it, get it out there. We'll be back next week. We'll probably be dropping these out on Friday. Maybe I think we need to record them over the weekend. I don't know. We'll see what our guests think. But we'll be dropping them out on Friday, probably like everybody else, or maybe we pick a different day. I don't know, but we'll let y'all know
as much as we want to do, as much as we can,
Dude, I'm ready. So appreciate all your hard work, Pat. Appreciate everybody that's watching. I'm gonna figure out how to get the comments on my screen too. Actually, no, I'm not, Pat. You'll just patch us in. You'll just let us know what the questions are.
It's better that way. The less distracted you are, the better you'll be.
No shit, Mike. No shit. I've been on this diet, dude. I've lost 30 pounds. It's like if somebody brought cake in here right now, it'd be over. So
it's beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging. Let us know what you think of it. Thank you, Jeremy, for letting me know. I did see that dropout, and we'll work on that. And we'll keep it moving for you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Oh, wait. Hold up. Let me see if I can play the Roughneck Real Estate song to play us out. Let's see if that'll actually work. Here we go. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. The best in Texas in every single way. Fire your guru, hire Roughneck to real estate. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. He's the motherfucker of mobile homes. see you guys next time. Bye.
Later, Pat.